First Lady Jill Biden ended her visit to Namibia on a hopeful note, stressing the power of young people in a nation where youth unemployment hovers at an alarming 40%.
Each generation inherits the world in their own time. We often tell young people that you are the future, and it's true. But sometimes that message can sound like wait for some far-off finish line that makes you wiser or more powerful. There are problems that you can solve now, and you have the gifts to offer the world now.
It has been a whirlwind 3 days for the First Lady, who landed in Namibia Wednesday and used her time to focus on women's empowerment, children, and education. She also praised the nation's vibrant democracy, established and run by the same party since independence in 1990.
I'm proud to be standing here, standing with a strong democracy, and as Monica said yesterday, a young democracy working together. As Joe said at the summit, African voices, African leadership, and African innovation are all critical to addressing the most pressing global challenges and realizing the vision we all share. A world that is free.
But this gentle nudge towards Western democratic ideals may not persuade governments to loosen their deep ties to the East, said Professor Ndumba Kamwanya of the University of Namibia. Like many African nations, Namibia was supported by the former Soviet Union in its struggle for independence. And the war memorial Biden visited shortly after landing, and the imposing State House, were built by a North Korean company.
Of course, officially they said they don't want to choose a side, but deeply, I think, from an analytical perspective, I think that they are leaning towards the Russian position.
Still, Catherine Jellison, professor of U.S. women's history and gender history at Ohio University, says Jill Biden's soft touch could steady U.S. relations with African nations.
I think it's important that some high-profile member of Biden world visit Africa right now, because we need to shore up our friendship with African nations and our relationships with African nations at a time when the Chinese have an eye on cultivating more of those relationships. So it's an excellent idea if we want to maintain a good working relationship with African nations, that we put out that friendly hand.
Kamanya says, wait and see.
Also, it will depend on the outcomes of that engagement in terms of what other initiatives that will follow suit after her visit. So I think it's important that in a day or 2 days after she leaves, it will become clearer in terms of the concreteness of that engagement.
Biden will spend 2 more days in Kenya promoting women's empowerment and addressing children's issues in the hunger crisis, again afflicting the Horn of Africa. Anita Powell, VOA News, Nairobi, Kenya.